All right. Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is Manny Rodriguez and Frank Lopez here at Tacobout Live. How you
Hey
doing,
everybody,
brother?
how's it going?
Good
Good to
evening.
see you,
All
brother.
right. Good morning. Good morning. And so I want to welcome you so much here this morning with us as we are going to be joined together with a special guest, a friend of ours here shortly. But we just want to welcome you guys and thank you for your patience. We've been out for about a couple of weeks. I was kind of under the weather, and then Frank was traveling, and so you've been pretty busy there, Frank.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Was in Houston, down in South Texas. I just got in late last night after we hit a wild pig on the road, bro. Big old javelina out there. Fortunately, we ran over it with my big truck tires and made a bunch of mole in the highway out there.
Well, we got a lot to talk about, man. I being out for a couple of weeks here, man. I just feel like I missed out on so much. There's just so much going on,
Yeah.
and it's incredible, bro. It seems like every day there's something going on. My phone is always blowing up, and my emails and my texts, and I'm not just talking about from people in our congregation. I'm talking about people in the patrol,
Yeah.
and what's happening in the border patrol, and so that's what we're going to be discussing this
And that's
morning.
why I'm stoked, bro. Because Gil is a good friend of ours. He's a brother in Christ. He's out of California. Uh, that's where he retired originally from Arizona. But Gil is a great guy, and man, I always wanted to surround myself with smart people like you. And Gil's another great guy, a great intellect. You'll see from our conversation this morning, while I'm stoked and blessed that Gil is a person that is in my life, is in our lives, and so I can't wait to get started with this morning show.
Yeah, I'm gonna just set it up here real quick.
Yeah. And so, folks, just want to continue encouraging you to continue praying, continue seeking God's face, get into His Word every day, get suited up in the armor of light. We are children of light, and the Lord has called us not to be silent in the land, but to engage. To possess the land, and we do it as believers in the Son of God. So I just want to give you encouragement. God is with you no matter what you're going through. He knows it, and your miracle is on the way. Just believe in that. Hold on to your faith.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. And so we're going to go to get started here real quick. We're going to bring Gil on real quick. So I want to say good morning there. Gil, how you doing, my brother?
Hey,
Hey,
bro.
good morning, guys. Let me first say what an honor it is to sit with two of my biggest mentors in my life, Manny and Frank. You guys have been such an influence to me. And even though Rabbi is still very concerned about my salvation as the
Hey man, I appreciate that. We didn't pay him to say that,
oh,
So we wanna praise the Lord for our friendship that we have. I think we've known you now since I think the first time we met him was like in 2005, right around there, like
Something like that,
in El
bro.
Paso,
for the
Texas.
conference, first
Yep.
conference.
Right, our first chaplaincy conference, and I remember, seeing you over there, and then because we kind of had our original chaplaincy corps, and then all of a sudden you show up from California, and we're like California.
Yeah. Who is this guy? No, man. No, but it was good, bro. It was great because look, yeah, every day, man, God sets up for us divine appointments. And that day, yeah, I mean, we were there for chaplaincy business. We were working on a nationwide program. Well, we were putting together this tool that could be used not just by the agency to minister to the men and women in the border patrol, but it was a way that God could put tangible people in front of hurting people so that we could minister to them. And so that was a divine appointment that still continues to this day. And it's had a ripple effect. And I know personally for me, of course, Manny's always here as my dear friend and brother. But Gil has played a very important role in my life. And I am forever grateful to my brother Gil. Thanks, Gil.
Thank you, brother.
And so, Gil, you were how long were you in the border patrol?
I was in the board for almost 25 years, from
Wow.
1996 till March of last year.
Wow, so just retired, man. It's already going on a year about a retirement here pretty soon, right?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing how fast it goes.
So are you glad that you get to kick back and relax on the porch and just chill out?
It's so funny because when you talk to other people that retired, they don't really tell you a lot, except they're living the dream and everything else. But I'll be honest with you, for my first 6 months of being retired, I struggled.
Yeah.
I struggled. I wasn't that guy in the Border Patrol. I was an average agent at best. I had my days, I had my moments. I did feel like I got to accomplish quite a few wonderful things, including the chaplaincy program with you guys. But I missed it, man. I missed the uniform. I missed the badge and the gun and driving as fast as I wanted to, parking wherever I wanted to park on the planet. It doesn't matter. If I stopped somewhere and there was a restricted area, it wasn't restricted to me. So
unless you're in DC. In DC, it's like they would tow their own mother, man. That's the only thing.
For parking even at your job over there at headquarters, right? So I did struggle with my identity and who I was going to be, but I have actually settled in to my situation now, and now, besides the other projects that I have, one of my biggest projects has been, as you can see, is trying to be a voice along with you guys for the agents out there in the field that have no place else to go. Right. Besides us, Amen. Besides those of us who understand and care and are not willing to ignore what's going on out there. So that's become almost a full-time job right there.
And that's why I asked you kind of sarcastically, brother, because I know you, man. I see what you're doing. You're an innovative guy, but you're also an involved guy. And so we're grateful for that because, look, this border is huge, man, from the mouth of the Rio Grande River down in Boca Chica out to where you're at in California. It's a big border, and there's a lot of men and women right now in green, our brothers and sisters in green. And of course, I'm not going to leave out the good folks over at OFO, the Office of Field Operations. Right. Those are the people, the folks at the ports of entry, and then the folks in brown, which are air and marine operations. They're the pilots, the vessel commanders. They're also in Customs and Border Protection. And right now, man, this is a not just a difficult, but it's a very devastatingly depressing time, man, to be involved in Customs and Border Protection with its sub agencies because of the traitorous leadership that we have right now, and it's killing our guys. It's killing them.
I spent about 25 years in the patrol, and just like you guys, we share the same sentiment. Through almost my whole career in the Border Patrol, I served as a chaplain for over 20 years. Gil, you served as a chaplain for almost 20 years in the Border Patrol as well. Actually, at one point, you were even up at headquarters running the program. So we saw a lot of need in the patrol. But as for those of you who don't know, as in Border Patrol, chaplains are agents as well, and so we're out there patrolling. We're out there making arrests. Some of us we're regulated to administrative duties and whatnot, but still we wore the uniform. We went through the academy. It's a whole different ball game with the chaplaincy and the Border Patrol. But so the same. So in regards to that, we went through the same stresses. We went through the same. Pay, issues. The academy, and then not only that, but when I was retiring, I saw the writing on the wall, and that's actually one of the reasons I retired, because as I saw the direction that the patrol was going, and the amount of illegal aliens that we were catching, and then releasing, it broke my heart, because I never thought I would see the patrol like this, the way it is now.
Well, I had the blessing of I did go through obviously the first caravan situation, but I was able to retire mandatory, and it was literally weeks before it all hit the fan. So, and that was my goal. I wanted to go mandatory, and I was able to do it relatively unscathed until that final day. But so many. I can't tell you how many stories I've heard, Manny, of people quitting long before they needed to. All that hard work, all that investment, they had a plan. They were going to go to mandatory. I mean, retiring at 57 is glorious. Yeah. We're still young enough, right? We're still young enough to do whatever we want, right? I mean, we're still able to do a lot at 57 that people have to wait till they're 65, 70 years old before they retire. Right. So it's a glorious thing, but so many Border Patrol agents' lives have been upheaved in so many ways because they had to cut their plans short because they can no longer handle what's going on out there that they see with their own eyes.
Oh yeah, I remember when I went to go turn in my paperwork, which is already going to be a year. I dropped my paperwork in December of last year, And I remember when I took it to personnel and handed it in, uh, the personnel, the employee, she was just overwhelmed
Yeah.
when she got my packet. She looked at me, she goes, "Another one?" And I said, "What do you mean another one?" And she goes, "I have 30 right here on my desk right now." And I said, "Oh my goodness," and everybody just dropping their paperwork.
And folks like Gil, you went mandatory. Manny went 25. Basically as soon as he was eligible. For folks that don't understand the Border Patrol, at any age, if you have 25 years, you can retire any age. So you come in at the 20, right off the bat, you can go at 45. So at any age, 25 years or uh, age 50 with 20 years. Age 50 with 20 years. And so 25, Gil went a mandatory 57. I did 30 years, got out at 52. I could have done 35 years, but the same thing. The Soros caravans during the Trump era just told me, hey, something's happening here.
Yeah.
And also as believers, the Spirit of God was calling me out. It was time to get out of the Border Patrol, and I knew He wanted me to do several things, and one of them was get involved in the political arena as well. But we're also advocating for the families, even though we've stepped outside that minister spirit, that servant's heart is still in us. And that's why we care deeply about what the men and women and their families, because look, for every green uniform you see out there, there's a family that loves them, that supports them, that cares for them, that sees the struggles that they're going through. And right now, as former military, law enforcement, just people who care for our nation, they see the men and women on the front lines doing something that very much goes against their nature, and it is because we have traitors in office, and we have politicians who are making terrible decisions, and the brunt of that is falling on the shoulders of these men and women. The suicide rate is up in Border Patrol. They're not going to talk about it because they want to keep this stuff hidden. We've talked about the off camera, Gil, before we got on. We were all, you were there, we were talking. Look, folks, you're going to see the pretty stuff being put out there. It's the pandering pretty stuff, the good, feel-good news out there. But they're not going to dig down into the turmoil in the hearts of the men and women on the front lines. And we're going to advocate for them. We're going to call out people like Chief Raul Ortiz and Alejandro Major Dorcas, that waste of a man who is in charge of DHS, who is betraying our nation, because we are their voice. They can't speak because they're in uniform, but we are their voice, and we're not going to leave you guys behind. We're here with you. We don't leave our friends and family behind the lines. We're right there with you. Yeah.
Well, I posted recently about how someone had commented to me, you're retired. This doesn't affect you, man. Mind your own business, man. And all that. And I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? First of all, that's our family.
Yes.
From California to all the way through to Texas and Florida, across the sectors all over the country.
Yes.
The one thing about the patrol that you probably won't find anywhere else is that brotherhood, that you're my brother in green, no matter where, northern border, southern, it does not matter. And that does not end when you retire. Yeah. So I've actually had to go speak to get a little bit of professional help. People said I've always needed it, but still, to sort out my thoughts, because this was affecting me all day long, just seeing what was going on, seeing the anguish, and then understanding. Again, now I wake up to a barrage, a mountain of messages every single day. I have had conversations with guys across the country about quitting. Should I quit? What do I do? I'm sick of this. How do I handle this? And having that conversation. So our chaplaincy, our ministry has not ended because we got out of the patrol, and certainly not our connection to the patrol. We still bleed green, we still think green, and we still live green here, because honor first doesn't end when you retire.
No, you're right. You're right. Shortly before I retired, we got hit. Border Patrol got hit with COVID deaths, line of duty deaths. In the Border Patrol, every agent that passes away from COVID is counted a line of duty death. And so last year, we had the most deaths in Border Patrol history, right? Most line of duty deaths in Border Patrol history. Before I retired, guys, I did 10 funerals within a year, and which is unheard of, you know, and so I say that because when I retired, I was still getting calls from Border Patrol agent family members, from Border Patrol agents as well to go and do other funerals, you know, for fallen agents and whatnot. And you know, I deferred a lot to the chaplaincy, but I was, you know, still what I'm saying is that even though I'm retired, agents still reach out to me on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. You know, just the other day I was talking with some agents as well about what they're going through. You know, they just with the mandates, you know, a lot of them were stressing out about it, and it's just every day they're getting hit more and more. And now we're going to go into this video here real quick so we can talk about it. Now, from the top level down, they feel abandoned. You know, they feel completely
Yes.
abandoned.
Yeah.
And those are the words that I
Yes.
keep getting every time I talk to agents. I'm like, how do you feel? How you guys doing? We're abandoned, man. I feel abandoned. I feel left alone.
You know what, Manny? They have been hit with the perfect storm since this administration started.
Yeah.
A completely wide open border. I don't care if Mamoncas and Mr. Ortiz can say that the border is closed.
Yeah.
And I actually had that conversation with them. If you want to, I'll share a little bit of that with you. But the border's closed. So we wide open border,
Jeez.
a pandemic, however you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
It's a pandemic, except when it comes to the people that are flooding into this country by the millions. But
Yeah.
it's a pandemic. And then the third thing is complete abandonment
Right.
from the leadership, from DHS on down
Right,
to
right.
even the sector levels.
Yep.
That line supervisor is still trying to hold. A lot of those guys are legit trying to hold their agents together, trying to hold the line for those guys.
Yep.
And I commend those guys.
Yeah.
But we have leadership in sectors, and from that point up, that are selling out our agents on a daily basis, expecting them to what? Toe the line for them and say everything is fine, we got it under control, and they will, you know, like they said recently, the BS stops here now.
It's got to stop, man, because it's more than just about the polished image that the agency wants presented. For us, guys, it's about you know, lives. These are people's lives, and so this video is going to show where agents have had enough.
Yep.
These are the patriots within the agency that they can no longer keep quiet. They can't keep a silence anymore.
Right. So I'm gonna set up the video real quick. This is a Laredo sector, right? Laredo sector muster, where Chief Ortiz and Mayorkas went to talk with the agents, and I don't, you know, agents started making their voices heard, and I think it was pretty unexpected. You know, I don't think Ortiz expected it, nor did Mayorkas expect it. So we're gonna play it here real quick, and then we'll go ahead and discuss this. So let me go ahead and set it up.
And I'm glad those guys vented, because the
Oh, yeah.
leadership needs to hear what they're feeling, man.
Yep. So let me move it over here.
The administrative policy around retention and border patrol is extremely horrible right now. So my question to you is, what are you going to do to kind of get the ball rolling in a positive direction as far as retention and who's going to do that? Chief, you want to take that?
Yeah, I do want to take that actually, because I agree with you. I do think that morale's at an all-time low. I do think that we're losing way too many agents, not just agents, professional staff, OLO is under some of the same stresses. Today, you know, one of my friends is going to get buried in Tucson, California. Retired chief who committed suicide this past week, who has 2 sons in the war trip still, and that's tough, right? And so, as an organization, we got to start taking care of each other, right? Okay, Mr. Secretary, but I need to do a better job of taking care of y'all, but y'all need to do a better job of taking care of me. But we tear each other down instead of building each other up. And Kari Huffman, who is the senior Border Patrol agent, I'm the senior Border Patrol agent, but as far as time in the Border Patrol, he's the senior guy, right? 1986. He is our chief operating officer. His number one priority is resiliency for CBP. So we've got to put together some programs and some initiatives that take care of us, right? Whether it's our physical fitness, our mental fitness, our spiritual fitness, it's all of it. And I get it. You come to work, you're frustrated, you're upset because you didn't get the desired outcome that you
Looking
want.
at your reactions.
Doesn't mean you give up.
Oh, Valio, yeah.
I know you're not. That's why I'm saying.
I've
we
gone
don't
through that
give
video
up.
like
We
100
stay
times
focused.
already.
We continue to do the job and the mission that we signed up for. Right? We all signed up for. We all raised our hand.
It's kind of hard to say that.
To defend the Constitution, not the
It's not hard to say it. It may be hard for you to say it, but I've been doing this for 31 years. It's not hard for me to say it. Every day I wake up and I'm committed to this organization and I'm committed to each one of y'all.
We say the same thing, but it seems like the policy's not.
But then you keep releasing criminal
Because
aliens in the country.
you're getting bogged down in the policies and the
You can't even
politics.
say illegal alien.
What's that?
That's why Chief Scott left.
You just said it.
You can't
You
say
say they're gonna happen to you? You just said it.
the whole generation.
Why are you guys getting caught up in semantics? Right? There's a mission out there to be. There's a mission out there to be had. We can sit here and argue about it till we're blue in the face. Right? I've been doing this job as long as y'all.
That's the problem.
What's that?
That's the problem, Chief. For evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. That's
I can't
exactly
hear
what's
you.
happening. For evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. That's exactly what's happening here. Good men are doing nothing. You're allowing illegal aliens to be dropped off in communities.
You are doing something.
No, sir, we're not.
You are.
No,
You're rescuing people every day. You're taking fentanyl off the streets every day. You're taking methamphetamine
Yes,
off the
and under
streets.
this
Criminal
administration
aliens
for the
off the
last
streets
year, we
every
got the
day.
highest fentanyl death in the history of our country. In 1 year, in this country.
You know, we've made more fentanyl seizures already this year than we made last year.
How many have we not catch because we're focusing on expanding? And that's the problem.
And we're working on it.
Well, where's the results? We don't have results.
On a lighter note, when are we gonna get the VF money solution? We need some new areas.
Hey, good old PA throws it in there, bro.
Oh my
Say
God.
it by the bell, my God.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you know, one thing that comes up, well, actually, two terms, man. BB, as in bully bureaucrat. That's what I picked up from that, bro. A bureaucrat who's trying to come up with, you know, we've had programs in
Yeah.
the Border Patrol. He talks about the resiliency aspect of it. Look, and what does he say? We need to come up with programs and initiatives. Dude, we got so many programs. That's
Yeah.
the answer of a bureaucrat.
Yeah.
Look, I'll tell you what the antidote is to what's happening. Good leadership, moral leadership,
Right.
servant leadership. That is what they need. That is what they need. We don't need any more programs. We need for men to step up y que se agarren los suyos. Reach down, grab them, and be men in the face of tyrants like Mayorkas and Biden.
Oh yeah, I can tell you what the first time I saw that video, you know, and I've known Raul for years, and I even consider him a friend. But this is, you know, this video got me so angry.
Yep.
It got me so angry because you don't stand there and argue against, you know, back to the agents. First, he tries to get on their side by, you know, excuse me, Mr. Secretary, if you don't mind, like, hey, I'm one of them. And the next you know, he's slamming them.
He's raising their voice at them, bro. I mean, that's a bully tactic right there.
Let me just say real quick that we all had high hopes. And there's a lot of posts that I did when he first got into office that didn't age well, right? Wishing him the best, praying for his success and things like that. But I can tell you for a fact, from personal experience, that Chief Ortiz is genuinely shocked that of the pushback he's getting. As far as he's concerned, he has taken care of the agents. He has done a good job. And the only people that are disgruntled with him are employees that are disgruntled or just whiners. That's what he believes.
Yep.
That's what he thinks.
But that's not the case. I was on the phone a few days ago with 2 or 3 agents who've known him for years as well, and they were just expressing to me like, man, what's up with I feel completely abandoned. You know, why doesn't he say anything?
Wow.
You know, and they were asking me, like, 3 agents that I was on the phone with, a few days ago. Why isn't he saying anything? Look at what Chief Scott did, and they love Chief Scott. I'll tell you what, everybody loves Chief Scott. And people would ask me, what would you do? What would you do? I said, look, I'm not Roll. I don't know what he's going through on a daily basis. But what I do know is that when you're at the top level, if I were at the top level with all those stars on my collar, people don't realize you keep 100% of your retirement at that level. You know, there's either sacrifices that need to be made, or there's compromise that comes into the picture. And sad to say, the way things are looking right now, there's compromise that has come in, and it is not doing well.
I wrote some key things down as he was talking. You know, there's some things, of course, the program thing. We look, that's a bureaucratic answer. We come up with initiatives and plans and policies. Look, there comes a time when it's your gut,
Right.
when it's your heart, when it is the morals and the principles of being a leader. And so, Chief Ortiz, you get an F on that, sir. Right now, I grade you an F. The other thing about it here, look, he said you're getting bogged down in policy and politics. Man, how you're getting bogged down. Talk about who is bogged down in policy and politics. I mean, that's a contradiction. He is executing the policies of Alejandro Mayorkas, who is executing the policies of this Marxist president we have, Biden, and the Marxist puppet masters that are pulling his strings. So talk about policy getting bogged down is Mayorkas and Chief Ortiz. The politics of it, it just lost to me. But the other thing right here, he said, you're talking semantics. He tells them you're talking about semantics here. No, Chief. What these agents are enraged about is they see not the semantics. They see the sovereignty of the greatest nation on the face of the earth being trampled daily on our border. And that is what they're enraged about, because these are good men and women, patriots within the ranks. Yeah, you got your butt kissers, your sycophants that are they got full diving gear on. They're so far up people's rear ends. But then you've got real patriots that love America, are fighting for America, and they know that what this DHS under Biden is doing is traitorous.
Yep.
It's treason to our nation. The one guy said it. He said, we're angry because we're taking illegal aliens into our communities. We're dropping them off in our communities. And so he tries to deflect with statistics. That's the other thing. Statistics. What do politicians do? They'll start throwing out those stats, bro.
Yep.
These agents don't care about stats. We can have the most productive year. We can catch the trillions of tons in dope. But if we are endangering our communities and if we are trampling on our sovereignty, that's all that these agents see, man.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we love to say we're the front liners. Well, I'll tell you what, the front liners on this border right now feel like they're gatekeepers, and they're swinging. They're basically just swinging open the gates.
The welcome committee. So Gil, you're over there in San Diego, right, in California, and which I'm pretty sure is really nice weather year round. But but you're getting contacted on a daily basis, right, from agents, right? And how's it affecting your guys' community over there?
Well, look, the thing about it is that if I had to characterize that last video,
Yes,
I would say that it is literally the dying gasp of a person in leadership who has lost complete credibility and complete honor with his own agents. Yep. And the only recourse he had was to play these he played semantics. He played the word games. I remember when the first agent, right, he comes out and he says, yeah, I agree with you. Morale is at an all-time low. Okay, Chief, thank you. Oh, agents are too many. We're losing too many agents. Okay, Chief, thank you. And then he launches into the go-to, right, agent resiliency programs. Yep. They don't strengthen what they have. They still haven't given the chaplaincy since its inception what it needed to actually be an effective program. It is an effective program because we've done a lot with so little,
right?
But it still isn't where it needs to be. And if they did that, they wouldn't have to talk about resiliency anymore. We'd be handling it in-house, no problem.
Right.
Then he comes on and he doesn't give a direct answer. He doesn't address the agents, right, about what's going on. Oh, I got to take better care of you. You haven't done that since you've been in, Chief. Do you know what the go-to was when he first got started? Why he wasn't saying or doing anything? Why he didn't support the horse patrol? Why he hasn't done one thing? Name one thing he's done. The reason is because he says, "Oh, I'm holding the position of chief of the patrol for a green uniform. I don't want anybody else coming in, any civilian coming in, or anybody else coming in and taking this spot." And I'm thinking to myself, well, what's the difference?
Yeah.
What has been the difference? We have seen or heard. Name one thing. Someone told me, well, he's given the guys day off in the field. Ask the guys how they feel about that. They can't even take the day off half the time anyway.
Yep.
Oh, we're going to offer them new uniforms. I remember.
And agents would rather enforce the law than take a day off.
Yeah.
One of the parts that got me the most was when the agent said, he said, "Chief, you can't even say illegal alien."
Yeah.
Say? You just did.
Yeah.
Did I just come in the
So the agent can put that on his 213, right? He can put that in his statements, right? In his reports that this is an illegal alien. Are you kidding me? It'll get kicked back within seconds.
But think how nonsensical that answer was.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The agent is saying, "You, chief, I want you to say they're illegal aliens. I want Mamoncas to say they're illegal aliens, but you won't. If it's all about semantics, chief, how come you changed illegal alien to undocumented, non-immigrant citizen? It's all about semantics, isn't it, chief?"
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something that really, really got me angry as well. It wasn't anything verbal that was going on, but Mayorkas wearing a Border Patrol jacket.
Yes.
Bro. I am completely enraged. Him wearing that jacket because it has our patch, it has our badge, it says Border Patrol. This guy is a sanctuary city, tyrant, and who cares nothing about border security. Matter of fact, he even said he cares nothing about border security. That all he cares about is the families that were separated during the Trump administration.
For the families that were separated, that man has made a career of hating the patrol, and he spits in the face. I have had to apologize to the family of Theodore Newton.
Yeah.
He has spit in the face of those guys because when he was California attorney, the attorney in California, he could have done something to keep that SOB Victor Bono in jail. But what did he do? He doesn't even contest it, and he lets this killer go free. Newton and Nazareth, right? We named our highest award in the patrol.
Yes. Yep.
For these guys, and this SOB walks around with their patch on.
Yeah.
Their patch on. That I climb out of my skin every time I see him with that jacket on, and I'm thinking to myself, we promised our guys, we promised our fallen agents, we promised our families we would never forget, and we allow this ass clown to wear our patch and wear Newton and Nazareth's patch after what he's done.
Yeah.
He has hated the Border Patrol his entire career, and
Gil, man, I cannot help, bro. I cannot help, but I get your sentiment, brother, because we do have these. Man, I can't hear myself in the mic. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you're coming in.
I'm good. Okay. Hey, so they're using us, Gil. They're using the men and women in green. They're using us. Look, I can't help. I cannot let this bypass. There's a lot of people right now that have used the border to their advantage. They're opportunists. But then we have the politicians, bro. And no doubt about it, Raul, by his words, his actions, is a politician. He's a bureaucratic politician. He wants to stay in power. That's why he's not going to buck the system. At least Chief Scott stuck to his guns.
Yep.
And people will contest it and they'll try to dilute that. But the fact of the matter is that Chief Scott stuck to his guns. And I hear word there's a few other chiefs out there right now that have received their 3R letters out there. There's some out there that are bucking the system. Why? Because they're men of principle, men of courage, men of valor, and they are they're sticking to the Border Patrol model, which is honor first. But you said something about this poser Mayorkas using our jacket. Let me tell you another poser, man. And I cannot let this go by. It's Congressman Tony Gonzalez right here in Congressional District 23. This liberal LULAC puppet Democrat who has infiltrated the Republican Party. And because he is flying illegal aliens out of Laughlin Air Force Base, and because he is in bed with the non-government organizations that are moving people for the cartel on the U.S. side, he knows he is weak in this district. So what does he go do? He goes and runs to Brandon Judd, the president of the Border Patrol Union, to get their endorsement. Why? Because he needs that to offset it. But let's not forget that Congressman Tony Gonzalez used a fake Border Patrol agent, a man in a Border Patrol uniform, a faker, like Mayorkas is a faker. He used him in his primary run. And I'm talking to every Border Patrol agent right now, every family member that is hearing this. If you're in Texas, Tony Gonzalez is using the Border Patrol heat. And that incident, bro, was actually investigated by Border Patrol as to a congressional candidate using an imposter, somebody impersonating a Border Patrol agent. And he's fooled a lot of people up and down this border, but we're exposing him. That's why I'm running against him. But anyways, I just couldn't let that go by, Gil. You know, when you start talking about fake posers, Tony Gonzalez is a fake poser.
You know, and I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, it's hard for me. It is really hard for me to criticize Ortiz. It is because I've known.
The Pope, Manny, I would rather blaspheme the Pope than the chief of the patrol.
Oh, yeah. Right. You know, because I've known him for so many years, but I'm really disappointed. I'm really hurt, and I feel for our agents, and the agents that I talk to, are good agents, and they call me, like I said, on a weekly basis. I know, Gil, they call you, and I'm sure it's even hard for them to say anything, because all I hear is like, I can't believe this is happening. Yeah. And they say the same thing that you just said, Frank. What is he bucking for commissioner? Yeah. Is he bucking for a position? At that point, when you have all those stars and you're the highest ranking, law enforcement official in the United States Border Patrol, the highest uniformed official, in the federal agency, right? At one point, I remember when Morgan was in charge of the Border Patrol as a chief, and I was upset when he wore the uniform. And then I met the guy and found out that, hey, this guy, he's actually legit, but the reality, the job that is happening right now and throwing semantics, these words, semantics and policies and back in the face of Border Patrol agents, that right there, all that's going to do is reduce their confidence in leadership, which they have none right now.
Manny, he has alienated, at this point, he has alienated just about everybody because, especially you heard when he said, you guys took an oath. And one of the agents said, it's hard to say that, Chief. And he goes, it ain't hard for me to say it.
Yeah.
As if to say that the agent was saying that he's having a hard time fulfilling his oath. No, he's not having a hard time fulfilling his oath. He's having a hard time fulfilling the oath he was given because of the administration and the politics that are going on. So it's real easy for him to say, I don't have a hard time saying that I'm out there. No, but the agents are having a hard time because they see they're the ones cleaning up the sectors when these 10-12 shows up. How many dang dog and pony shows, how many asses from DC do we have to come see what's going on in the border, assessing the situation before we figure out we need something. But this administration has no interest whatsoever in stemming the flow.
So let's look at the statistics that he was talking about.
Manny, is to process everybody they can into the country. No interest in stopping it. But these guys are like, they're crying out to the chief. Chief, we clean up the sectors. Chief, we're the ones forced to let these bodies go all over the country. We're flying clandestine aircraft all over the country, dropping people off all over the place. And you want to tell us to our face that the border is secure and we're doing a good job. Right. And I'll let you go with this, but you remember when he stood there after they had cleaned up Del Rio, right? They cleaned it up. They sent the bodies everywhere else, releasing them. Yeah. They went to other sectors. They went to other stations. But, Del Rio is clean. And he sat there and said, the message has been clear for months. The border is closed.
Yeah. Oh my God, bro.
What are you
Look,
talking
look,
to?
look,
Go
I
ahead.
think you're talking.
I just gotta say this, man. Look, and I'll probably definitely step on some toes here, ruffle feathers, but I don't care, man. The guys knew that, I was gonna be a bit of a rabble rouser. Look, they were talking about oath in that muster, and for you guys, for us, taking that oath is not just
Yes.
something we do to get the job. For many of us, it is a way of life where we
Yeah.
have defended, been ready to die for this nation, whether as military members, veterans, ready to go anywhere that our nation called us to go, or every day that the men and women in green strap on that gun belt and walk out there. We never knew. We
Yeah.
never knew we were going to make it home at the end of the shift. But because for men and women of principle, an oath is your promise. It is your solemn word that what you say you're going to do, you're going to do it. And so we know about this chief. Look, man, let's not freaking play games here. We know about Chief Raul Ortiz in the Rio Grande Valley. We know about Chief Kevin Oakes in the Rio Grande Valley. We know what went on. We know what happened. This is still a small patrol. People talk, and we are sick and tired of men and women who use words just as something they throw down in their fancy parties, whether at the punch bowls. That's from a few good men there, right there. But anyways, bro. Anyways, for some people saying, it's easy for me to say it. No, I've always said this, man. If people cannot keep the most basic oaths,
Right.
the most basic oaths, who are sharp. Manny, when I tell you I'm gonna do something, brother, I'm gonna move heaven and earth to try to get
Right.
it done. When I give you my word, when I make my marriage vows, I'm gonna do everything I can to keep those marriage vows.
Right.
And look, we talked about this, man. We would talk about the elephants in the room that nobody wanted to talk about in the Border Patrol. Suicide. It was rampant in the Border Patrol. Substance abuse. It was rampant in the Border Patrol, and self-medication through
You
alcohol.
pioneered that stuff for the patrol.
What's that, bro?
You guys pioneered that stuff into the patrol.
Yeah,
That's
we talked about it, bro. We talked about it because they didn't want to talk about it. The third big one was domestic violence. But look, something that always got under my skin was when I saw these men in leadership positions who had no problem committing adultery, brother. I'm going to throw it out there, man. I'm going to throw it out there. Because when you commit adultery, you cannot even keep the most solemn oath to your spouse, bro.
Right.
That is a
So how could you keep it to a country?
So how can you keep it to a country? It is so easy for these men and women in positions of power to have adulterous affairs and be bosses and be supervisors and be chiefs.
Yeah.
Look, hey, I'm gonna bring it out here, man. It is now time to uncover what is happening here, and that is why it is easy for them to sell out a country. Because to them, it's just words. It's just semantics. And those agents in that room are screaming out and saying, it's not just words. It is our solemn oath, not just to me, just not for me when I took on this position, but to everybody that stands behind me, to every family member that believes in me, to every American that believes that the men and women out here in the front lines are going to do their job and secure this border. They're sick and tired of it. They're sick and tired of seeing these men and women in leadership positions, selling them out, selling out the agency, and selling out our country.
I'm
man.
sick and tired of it.
I'm sick and tired of it, bro.
For it. Did you just see? They just had Homeland Security Week, a big old expo in headquarters. So everybody in dress uniforms, catered lunches, plenty of Kool-Aid to drink. And they're celebrating innovative ways to deal with the issues at the border, except that it's not about stopping illegal immigration. It's about processing it into the country. And I'll say this, Chief, the agents have no problem with their oath even saying it.
Right.
What they're having a problem is fulfilling it, because you and CBP leadership and DHS leadership and this administration, which is, by the way, is the biggest cartel on the planet, because they have facilitated the biggest human smuggling event in the history of America.
Yep.
Yep. And all taxpayer funded.
Right, and full approval of the president of the United States.
We call it legalized smuggling.
Legalized smuggling. I'm going to ask you a question. When you were in the patrol, you two, Frank, how did you feel when you lost a group? when you lost a group, whether it was illegal aliens or drugs? How did you feel?
Well, a lot of people would say I never got out of my ride, but the few times I did, when you go out there, when you join the patrol and you go out there, especially in the first years when you're out there and you're tracking a group or you're laying in for one. I mean, I still remember the sights and sounds and smells of the feeling of going out there and just tracking people and catching people and doing all those kind of things. And when you lose one, you come home deflated, like
Right.
you just lost, like you had a chance to win the lotto, but you lost the ticket.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we know, that we can't catch them all, right? You can't catch them all. That's what I was told, and that's what I would tell my trainees, right?
Try.
Yeah, but you're gonna give the good old college try, even though I went to community college. No, I'm just joking. But you feel deflated, you feel defeated, but these agents are feeling far more worse because they're letting everybody go. Let's talk a little bit about statistics before we a few minutes left. We're triple over last year, right? In statistics, right? Over 400 to 500%, right? And now it's higher, right? Just since October, right? And here in Del Rio sector, from our fiscal year, we've caught. I don't want to say caught, but they've processed over 91,000 and released most of them, right? So okay, Chief, we've been catching all this fentanyl stuff, and I'm going to tell folks, there's a little secret. What happens? Many of these cases that come through the checkpoints are what's called courtesy loads, right? Yeah. You guys had them over there, we had them over here. These smugglers throw small loads here and there, nickel and dime us all day long, and the statistics go up. But the larger loads go around everybody, right? And same with the criminal aliens. They go around everybody. So for every case that we get, 4 to 5 more are getting away. For every illegal alien that we get, 4 to 5 more are getting away, right? So this, you want to talk statistics all day long. The agents know about this, that all these people are getting away, but yet all these other courtesy loads are getting caught and apprehended. But even most of the smuggling cases are getting paper cased and people are getting released. And at the same time, nobody is out there patrolling.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Well, Chief Scott said it best. Number one, this isn't an illegal immigration issue any longer. It's a homeland security issue. It's a border security issue because vast amounts, and he would know, vast amounts of the border are left completely unmanned and unsecured. And see, the thing about with the agents, it's not just that they're not allowed to do their jobs or they risk their lives to catch these loads and catch these smugglers and they don't get prosecuted, they all get released. It's that they're being made complicit, Manny and Frank, they're being made complicit in the lie. They're being made to brush out bodies. They're being made to brush out all these ugly situations, clean up sectors when people show up. To send bodies everywhere, release bodies everywhere. They're being made complicit in this crime. So that's the part that I think also grates them the most.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to jump in on that, bro, because yesterday I was having a conversation with a guy, and he basically said, how do you think, really tell me, how do you think people view the Border Patrol agents? And this was a civilian. And I said, look, there's a lot of folks out there that are appreciative of what they do. So, well, how do you think others view them? And I told him, I know there's some people out there, man, that think they are betraying their oath. And he said, exactly. He says, people I talk to feel that way. Now, it's a very complicated issue, but the frustration that these agents in this room are demonstrating is, it's them. They're doing their job. Yes, they are. But what you're seeing right now is that they are starting to rise up. These patriots are getting fed up because it should be on the shoulders of their leadership.
Yep.
It's the leadership that needs to run interference. And Ortiz says, I got your back, support me, but I need you to have my back. You support me.
What?
No, dude. I mean. That goes against the very basic tenets of leadership, man. You know what? The leader's at the forefront. He is at the forefront. He needs to march forward. He needs to be the one. Hey, look, maybe he goes down. Maybe he gets his letter. Maybe he gets removed. But this is bigger than about pensions. This is bigger than about, position or prestige. This is about principle. This is about preserving our nation. And that seems to be lost on this guy.
Yeah.
That seems to be lost on him, that this is about Our nation is in a state of existential threat.
Right.
Our very existence hangs in the balance here. And we need every patriot to stand up and make their voices heard. And it's totally lost on him.
Yep.
To him, it's just continuing with his job.
And the reality is, you know, he has the Constitution behind him.
Yes.
You know that. You know when Chief Scott stood up and said, "I'm not going to call these." You know,
It's been codified.
Yeah.
The term illegal alien is in the law, in the U.S. code.
it's in the U.S. code. It's supported by the Constitution. Why? It's not even law that whatever term they use now that.
Who knows?
Yeah, and so
You know.
and I always have that. What's that term that they use now? That they have to use now?
Undocumented non-citizen migrants.
Yeah. So you're gonna go. So an agent's gonna go and ask an illegal alien out there, "Are you, you know?"
Hey, you're a tourist. You're visiting.
Yeah, you don't know, it's ridiculous, folks. It's ridiculous, you know. And I feel terrible for our agents. I really do. And I still feel the pain every single day when I'm talking to these guys, when they text me, when they call me. I know, Gil, you're probably feeling it too. And sometimes I wish we could just jump back into the game, you know. But what are they gonna have us do if we jump back into the game? Process faster, right? Process faster. That's always the, you know. And it's ridiculous because agents want to protect our country. When I swore my oath, I did it because I want to serve my country, protect our way of life, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Hey, real quick, man, as you're saying that, man, you know, I just get this image, you know, of all these right now because we're going into primary season, man, and all across our nation, we got the opportunity to get involved. I want to just encourage our Border Patrol families, man, our CBP families. You guys have to get involved. You have to get involved in the political process. You have to get involved in your school boards. What's that, brother?
Remember November.
Remember?
Don't stick this one out.
Yep. Yeah, they got to get involved right now. During the primary season, they have the chance to vote for their champions, you know, who is going to go into November. And so right now we're at that, you know, in the playoff season as they get ready to go into the Super Bowl in November. So do your research there locally, folks. You got to look at your people, get into their social media. And one of the key things is that you have got to learn to read between the lines.
Right.
What are they really saying? Like, for instance, Brandon Judd with the union here endorsing Governor Abbott. Texans here know, man. Texans know that Abbott is pandering. They see his feeble efforts, what he's doing. Brandon Judd endorsing the likes of Tony Gonzalez. People down here know Tony Gonzalez. They know who he is.
And I'm gonna just say it too. That, you know, people don't realize when the Border Patrol Council endorses somebody, they don't speak for every Border
They
Patrol
don't
agent.
speak for the agents.
They don't necessarily.
Manny, I never understood how is it that in a group of 22,000 people of every political affiliation you can think of, you pay your dues,
Right.
and now the union gets to pick, and they've been pretty much on the wrong side.
Yeah.
I know in Texas, I know for sure they've been on the wrong side most of the time of who they vote for. But how do they get to? Why they drag all those agents that pay their dues they shouldn't be endorsing anybody. They should be fighting for, you know, congressionally for what we need. Yes, and going out there and lobbying whatever they need to do. But to endorse a candidate.
Yeah, look. I'll tell you, the union under Brandon Judd, you know, they got some notoriety when they endorsed Trump, and people applauded it. But it's a slippery slope, and I agree with you. Yes. They've gone down the road, Gil and Manny, of the unions, and what do the unions in this country do? They typically back Democrats, and Brandon Judd, who should be more concerned about the benefits and the working conditions of the men and women of the Border Patrol, is out here endorsing failed politicians like Governor Greg Abbott, failed politicians like Congressman Tony Gonzalez
who's facilitating illegal immigration.
Tony Gonzalez is facilitating it. He's flying them out of, he's Tony the Transporter, Air Tony, because he's flying them out of Laughlin Air Force Base. He's in bed with non-government organizations who are basically legalized smugglers. They've been legalized by the contracts that they get to move people into the heartland of America. And Tony Gonzalez is in bed with him. But look, let's not forget that Brandon Judd endorsed Congressman down there in Laredo, Henry Cuellar.
Yeah.
I mean, he endorsed the Democrat, folks. So look, you got to read between the lines. Don't just look at, it's the union endorsing. Look, First of all, I don't think they should be in that business to begin with, man, because it compromises them. It puts them in a position now where hey, look, you give us this, we give you our endorsement. That's one thing. But the other thing about it is that they go out and they endorse liberals who are going to hurt us. And so they've endorsed, in this case, Tony Gonzalez here. They endorsed Abbott, who's not doing anything for our state other than pandering to us. And real Texans that are watching, that are observing, and political observers, patriots, they know what's happening here.
Right.
And so, look, it's hard, Gil, you know this. It's hard not to talk about situations in isolation because there's so many dynamics at work here. But as three, retired Border Patrol agents, we still care about the men and women in green on the ground.
Right.
There's a lot of good supervisors and above. There are good people in the management ranks. But right now they're overwhelmed, they're stressed out, and above all else, and that's what I was doing earlier, is looking at the comments. There's people saying, yeah, man, these people need prayer. And
Right.
they do.
They do. And guys, before we close, there's three Border Patrol agents, retired Border Patrol agents here. We're in agreement that the leadership of the United States Border Patrol has failed our agents. Our agents haven't failed in what they're doing. Our agents want to do their job. They want to enforce the law. But leadership has failed them. They feel abandoned. They are not complicit in the facilitation of illegal immigration or, human trafficking or smuggling. They cannot. Their hands are tied. Their hands are tied by their own leadership, folks. And so we have three retired Border Patrol agents here that are in unanimous agreement, that the leadership has failed.
Yeah.
And many more that can't speak up, but yeah.
Yep, and actually that's what we've become since I've retired. We become a soundboard for our agents. We get contacted all the time, and I know you get told it, I get told it, Frank gets told it. Guys, please say something. Get the truth out there because we can't say anything. Before we close, Frank, you got some information that you need to put out.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, well, look, thanks, man. I don't know if you can see it there.
Yeah, let me put you up here.
All right.
Yeah, face it towards that one there.
So I went and got this the other day, folks. There it is. There it is. That's gonna be kind of my highway sign. America First. Frank Lopez Jr. for Congress. CD 23. We the people. We the people, and that's what it's about, man. The agents on the ground, their families, they're America First patriots. They love our country. They wouldn't do what they're doing if they didn't love our nation. If they didn't believe in our founding principles. If they didn't believe in our Constitution, and so that's why they are so. I think they're beyond frustration, man.
Yeah,
I really think they're beyond frustration.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They are.
Absolutely. If I could just say a couple of things real quick. First of all, if I had anything to say to the agents that are listening to this podcast right now, I'm going to say you have worked long and hard for what you got.
Yes.
This can't last forever. This cannot last forever. Change is coming. It will come. Help is on the way. Don't sit this next midterm out. Get out there and be active. Get everybody you can to do what they can to come in and bring sanity back to the leadership of this country.
Yeah.
And hang in there and hang tough. We are on your side. We love you. We appreciate you. Those of us who are outside the patrol now and not actively involved are here for you. We're still willing to be your backup. We're still willing to take a bullet for you. We're still willing to do everything that we promised to do when we went to the academy together and we took our oaths and became family. But hang tough and hang in there because this soon shall pass.
How do folks get a hold of you, Gil?
You could reach me through the website of the Facebook page, Old Patrol HQ. My phone number, my cell number is right on there. My email is right on there. You can reach me for anything. Yeah, I am a filthy capitalist. I'm not going to lie. So that's part of the reason for the page. But as you can see, I am working hard to uphold our history, our heritage, our legacy. With all the history behind it, I'm constantly in contact with Joe Banco, our historian, with Clifford Gill, our historian, and trying to put the history out for our new troops and our retired to see that we have a rich tradition and a rich history.
All right.
Shenanigans along the way.
Yeah. Well, Gil, we want to thank you so much for joining us here today on our program, brother. We wish we could stay on a little bit longer. Hopefully, we get to have you back on again here soon, really soon, as a matter of fact. And so, Gil, we appreciate all that you're doing, and I really appreciate that you actually trademarked Old Patrol headquarters. That's pretty awesome, man. And so you folks, I encourage you to go visit his page. We'll put the link up as well. We are streaming on Old Patrol headquarters Facebook page. We're also on YouTube and Rumble. Please go to our website as well. But Gil, we're gonna go go ahead and say bye as me and Frank close out, and then I want to say God bless you, man. The Lord take care of you, Lord watch over you, and may He keep you and your family safe.
Likewise, and God bless you guys for what you're doing. And there's a endless wealth of knowledge and information there. We're sitting right there in that in that room. So God bless you guys.
God bless you. Thank you, Gil. God bless.
God bless you, Gil.
All right, folks. Well, this is Manny Rodriguez and Frank Lopez. We just want to thank you so much for joining us here today. We truly appreciate you being with us. You know, folks, there's a lot of stuff going on, and we ask that you would, just pray for our agents, that the Lord take care of them, watch over them. They do want to do their job. They do want to enforce the law. Get out there and support candidates like Frank Lopez as well, who's going to be running here in Texas, who cares about our nation. I like how you put it there, America first. Because it is America first, folks. We are fighting for our nation, and Texas is a battleground state, right, Frank?
Yes, it is, man. We need to get involved, folks. We cannot let the Marxists, the socialists, we cannot let the liberals continue making decisions that are affecting all of us. They're affecting our families. They're affecting our future. They're selling out our country, man. And so you guys need to get involved. Find you that America First patriot at whatever level, of state government they're at, county government. Get behind them. Support them. They need you right now, especially as early voting is fixing to start. So do your research now, then go out and make that informed decision. And appreciate y'all being here with us today.
I'm going to, real quick, we got a couple of minutes. I'm going to put Frank's page, usborderpatriot.com. Right, go to his page, support him, get involved as well in your community.
Yeah, that's one of them. I'll be working on my campaign page here real soon as well.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, folks, again, we want to thank you so much for joining us here. And we got our website as well, tacoboutlive.com. Let me put that up there real quick. You can go ahead and join us at any time. Also, there and download the podcast. But folks, we want to thank you so much for being a part of our program. We truly appreciate you and thank you. And so we're going to say God bless you, God bless
y'all.
America, and God bless Texas.
God bless you.